Welcome in, everyone. We have a very fascinating topic to talk about today, and that is the latest step up the escalation ladder with President Donald Trump, the U.S. military, Mexico, and the drug cartels south of the border. This is a big one. Before we get into it, as always, please like and subscribe, comment with your thoughts, and let's pick up where we last left off, which is the belief that, or the question that was asked to a four-star, the head of Northcom, a four-star Air Force general, was asked by Rick Scott if aircraft carriers were going to be used in the Gulf of America. Some people are still calling it the Gulf of Mexico. We're calling it the Gulf of America, to battle the drug cartels. The four-star general didn't say they would, but he said there would be an increase in maritime activity, and that could be interpreted as there's more ships coming in. They're going to put more Navy assets there to interdict drugs and all that stuff. But now we actually have a significant update that involves 7th Special Forces Group, which is, of course, Green Berets. I first heard about this over when Nate over at Valhalla VFT. I'll link his video from Friday in the description below if you want to watch it, about U.S. Special Forces going to Mexico to train Mexican troops. Now, what is the bread and butter of Green Berets? It's foreign internal defense. They're supposed to act as a force multiplier. They go in, they train locals, they train friendly people, friendly to the U.S., they train them up on unconventional and conventional warfare, and then they use those locals to go complete missions instead of the U.S. having to do it. As for example, where the Army Rangers, their bread and butter is airfield seizure, direct action. They really act as a hammer that goes in and just obliterates whatever the target might be. Green Berets are more on the unconventional side. Both very elite, two different mission sets. Obviously, both also feed directly into the Army's SMU, Delta Force, which is the Tier 1 asset. So this is a report from this week from Border Report that says a Mexican Senate commission has approved the entry of members of the U.S. Army's 7th Special Forces Group, Airborne, into the country starting this week. The Americans will come fully armed as part of a mission to train the Mexican Navy's Infanteria de Marina, Marine Infantry, on conventional and non-conventional types of combat. The training takes place from February 17th through March 30th at Luis Carpozo. Again, I don't speak Spanish. Naval facility in the state of Campeche, according to Senator Alejandro Moreno Cardenas, president of Mexico's Senate Naval Ministry Commission. The Americans are landing in a C-130 airplane in Campeche 2 days prior to the start of the training. The commission unanimously approved the mission without discussion or dissent on Tuesday. The vote came at the request of President Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo. So that's what we have. We have now 7th Special Forces Group going into Mexico to train Mexican Marine infantry in conventional and non-conventional warfare tactics. This comes on top of the biggest thing we've seen is the spy flights that are flying nonstop up and down the border. We used to fly one a month reportedly. Now they're flying as many as 2 a day in a 10-day window. They're flying U-2s, P-8s, RC-135 rivets. They flew one on the western side of Mexico that allegedly either got into Mexican airspace, got very close to Mexican airspace. Those planes can pull information hundreds of miles inland without even entering Mexican airspace. But let's talk about, in my opinion, and then I'm just going to say my opinion, what this means and what this does not mean moving forward when it comes to battling the drug cartels. One of the first things I want to know is every Green Beret team, every Special Forces group has a different sphere of the world that is theirs, that they focus on their expertise. So I believe 5th group is the Middle East, 10th group is Europe. So when you saw Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, he was in Germany working out with a bunch of 10th group guys in the morning, which was honestly really cool. That's their sector. 7th group is what focuses on South America, Central America, Latin America. That's their area of expertise. So, for example, in the 90s, 80s, when they were going after, Escobar, things like that, There were advisors from 7 Special Forces Group that were in different parts of the region. I believe we had guys in El Salvador. We had guys all over the place doing, again, foreign internal defense. You're training up the locals. People might hear this update and think that this is about to turn into Rambo. But let's be quite clear. Is this a step up the ladder? It's absolutely a step up the ladder. We've talked about the ladder a lot. The spy flights, they're gathering intel, they're gathering recon, they're doing recon, photos, signals intelligence. That's a step up the ladder. Whenever you want to make a strike, you have to build target packages, you have to build intel packages, and it's a long, long journey that you have to climb the ladder until you're finally at the top of it. As one Delta Force guy once told me, when you look at the spectrum of what happens in order to take someone out, the strike is a pinprick at the end of that spectrum. And nobody really sees the 99.9% that comes before that. They just see the 0.1 where all the glory is. But there's so much work that needs to be done. But let's not get confused. These people are there, these elite, and let's make no mistake about it, 7 Special Forces Group is an elite unit. They are an elite Green Beret unit. They are some of the best soldiers the United States has. They are experts at their job. They're experts in foreign internal defense. What they're going to go do is they're going to train these Mexican Marines in a variety of things, tactics, weapons, and I'm sure some of you watching this right now are former Green Berets. Let me know in the comments what you think they're going to do. That's their focus right now. It's to create rapport, build that alliance, give that information, that training, that teaching to the Mexican Marines, and then hopefully you let the Mexican Marines off the chain, and then they go do the work that is necessary to hit the drug cartels, whatever it might be. That's what their objective is. Train and advance the mission. Make these Mexican Marines as lethal as you possibly can. Now, let's talk about what their mission is not. Some people might see this update and believe that it's going to be Sicario 3, that these 7 Special Forces Group guys under night vision are going to be flying in on Black Hawks. They're going to go to a cartel leader's villa. They're going to slap some explosive breaching charges on the door, blow it open, and go in and just hammer everyone in the target building. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen right now. Now, could anything happen down the road? Sure. Anything could happen down the road. We don't know. And as, again, Secretary Pete Hegseth has said many times, all options are on the table. All options will remain on the table. And you're going to see the toolbox be as open as it possibly can to battle the drug cartels. However, you don't send 7 Special Forces Group or any Special Forces Group to do a foreign internal defense or training mission, and then they sneak out in the middle of the night and it turns into the TV show Lioness or the movie Sicario. Could that happen at some point? Well, we've talked about that a lot here, that I believe there will be some kind of strike on a cartel leader at some point in 2025. Would you use 7 Special Forces Group, or would you use a Tier 1 element like Delta Force or SEAL Team 6? Let me know in the comments if you think they would use 7 Special Forces Group or if they would call in a Tier 1 element. I mean, I have no doubt at all that 7 Special Forces Group and the guys in it are more than capable of hitting targets. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. And anyone who's the enemy of the United States or a cartel in Mexico who thinks these guys won't come and ruin your day is in for a rude awakening if and when that actually does happen. But you're not going to see these guys just start pulverizing people in Mexico. That's not what they're there for. That's not what the mission is. It is a training mission. Is it a step up the ladder? Without a question, it's a step up the ladder. Is it a sign that these guys are going to start pulling the trigger on target against the cartels? Not at all. And it's important that we're crystal clear on what they will do, what they won't do, the purposes of why they're there, and all of that. They're there to train. They're there for an internal defense. Right now, and this can change, they are not there to just start smoking dudes. for lack of a better term. So that's where we're at. It's a rather large development. It's actually a huge development. We don't know if there's other assets in Mexico right now. We know we've got the spy flights. We know that we surged troops to the border, and now 7 Special Forces Group is going into Mexico to train the Mexican Marines. It's a lot of moving parts. It's very fluid. It feels like we have a new update every day. I'm really enjoying it. I think it's quite interesting. I want you to comment below what you think this means. Do you think this means that we're on the verge of taking out a cartel leader or whatever it might be? Make sure to like and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.